Hello, my grade 10 applieds. This is Ms. Noshak. So this is part 2 of week of April 13th, 2020. And this is the second lesson for the week. Okay. So now that you know how to do slope and its applications, which is rise divided by run or rise over run, we're going to look at what if we're given a line on an actual grid. Okay, so the ratio is still the same. Slope, when you have to find it, is rise divided by run. And for the first example, that's the easiest way to do it, actually. So it says here, find the slope of line segment AB. So when it just has two capital letters, it means it goes from A to B. So if we need to find the slope of this line, it's just like when we had rise over run, okay? So we're going to count how many units are here. So we're going to drop. It's called dropping a line so that you make a right angle triangle. Because remember, we need to have a right angle in order to find the slope. Okay, and notice there's a little square there to signify that it's a right angle. Okay, so once we have the right angle, we can figure it out. From here, from where it starts, you see how much does it go up? How much does it rise? 1, 2, 3. So our rise here is 3 units. Okay, and the run from the point on the line, the end point of the line, and where we dropped the line to make a right angle, we're going to count how many squares are there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 units is the run. Okay, remember slope is rise over run, so it's going to be rise over run. Okay, I think that's pretty straightforward. We're going to move on to the next question. So example 2, which is below. Okay, so for this one, it says the slope of a line segment can be calculated by using the coordinates of the endpoints. Okay, so coordinates are, like you have an X value and then you have a Y value. And I know because example 1, we were able to find the slope just by counting the squares. I want you to try to figure out this way out without necessarily counting how much it rises and how much it runs. I want you to use the points. So it says here like the point C21 and then D74. So C is 21 and D is 74. Okay, so with that, we're going to say, okay, again, you dropped from the endpoints. Let's make a right angle right here. So right angle, so it looks like a right angle triangle. And we're going to write down, okay, the rise. So the rise are the numbers that go up and down. So the rise is the Y values, right? Because the Y values are what goes up and down on the grid. Okay? The Y goes up and down. So with that, we're going to say, okay, so you take the Y value and you say, okay, you're going to figure out what the difference is from the two Y values, 4 and 1. So you're going to say 4 minus 1. Should I use the other color? 4 minus 1, that equals to 3. Okay? And if you notice, if we count the rise, right, it goes 1, 2, 3. So it equals to 3. I know you can just count this like this, but I want you to try it with the numbers because you're going to eventually get a question that only gives you the coordinates. It doesn't give you a picture of it. Okay? So the rise is 3. And notice that I wrote the number from D first and then from C, which is 1, second. So I'm going to do the same thing for the run. I'm going to write the number in D first. So that's the number 7. I don't know if you can see it. It's 7 minus 2. Okay. And with that, we get 5. And then you can verify like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the run. Okay. So what this does is it really means the rise is the difference in Y coordinates. Notice the word difference. Difference means minus, right? And so that's why we did 7 minus 2. And that's why we did 4 minus 1. It's the difference in those coordinates. So these are X and Y. And this is X and Y. Okay. So you just have to make sure that you use it in the right way, where since I wrote the Y value, like the Y value from D first, then I have to write the Y value from D first also when I calculate the run. okay? And then here, the 1 is the y value from C, so that's the second number you write. You always have to keep that in order. Okay, so when we do this, the slope of CD is equal to the difference in y coordinates. So it really looks like the difference in your y coordinates are right here. So it's 3, should I write it right here? 3 over 5, okay? So your slope is 3 over 5. That's your rise, and that's your run. Okay, now we're going to move on to example 3. Okay. Okay, so, a little distracted there. Okay, so for this one, it's the same idea, okay? You're going to take, now we have slope of CD, so you find where C and D are, which is right here. Okay, and if it helps you, you can label these like X and Y. So they can correspond with each other, X and Y. Okay, so again, I'm going to do rise over run. So this is slope is rise over run. So we're going to take the difference in y coordinates, okay? And we're going to take the difference in the x coordinates. So the y coordinates are at the top. So it's 2 minus 3, okay? So when I write that, I'm going to write 2 minus, common mistake is to just put 3, but this is actually negative 3. So it's 2 minus negative 3. Okay, so just because this is a negative, you have to include that negative here, but it's still a difference in the coordinates, okay? So this is your y value from D, and then this is your y value from C. So we're gonna follow that here. So then you're gonna put your x value from D below. This is from point D, and this is gonna be from point D. So the x value for D is 4. And the difference of that is you're going to subtract. That's what difference is here. And then what's the x coordinate of C? It's 2. Okay. So now you have to take away negative 3. Don't forget that when you have a negative times a negative, it's a positive. So you have 2 plus 3, which is equal to 5. And 4 take away 2 is equal to 2. So that's your slope there for CD, okay? Now we have to find the slope for EF, FE, okay? So again, if you need to help you can put like your X and your Y, put an X and the Y there, and okay, so we're gonna go, we'll do it the other way. So the y values, see the y values here, these two numbers, okay? We're gonna do 4. So y value from F is 4. The difference minus the other y value from E, which is 2. So 4 minus 2. Then we're gonna go to the difference of the x coordinates at the bottom. So again, since we did F first over here, it's going to be the x value here is negative 5. We're going to take the difference of it, so minus. Notice that I keep putting these in different colors because the minus here, it's always going to be a difference. And then we have negative 1, so it's negative 1. Okay, so when we do 4 minus 2, you get 2. And then here again, it's that's a plus, so negative 5 plus 1 is equal to negative 4. We need to put this into lowest terms. So it's divide both by 2. It's negative 1 over 2. Okay, so there's a little note here that says, if you take a look, right, one is a negative slope and the other is a positive slope. Okay, slopes of lines rising to the right are positive. So if you read it like a book, and you go from, like you're reading this from left to right, notice that it's going upwards. So CD right here, it's a positive slope. It's going upwards as you're going from left to right. Slopes of lines declining to the right are negative. So again, if you're reading a book, you look at point F, and as you keep going to the right, it's going downwards. So that's what we call a negative slope. Okay, so that's why the slope here for FEF is negative, and this one is positive. Okay, and then the last example. Okay, so for this one, there's two other types of slopes that we can have besides having fractions and whole numbers. So you calculate the slope of each line segment. So now we have KL. This is K and this is L right here. Okay, notice like this circle, this hollow circle just means this is where your y-axis and your x-axis cross each other. So this is like 0, 0. Okay, it's also called the origin. Okay, so slope of K to L. Oh, I didn't block this up for you. No. Okay, so well, it has the answer here for you. Okay, so what it's saying is, again, you take your x and your y value. Okay, in this case, it took my y value here is 1, take away 1. So 1 minus 1. And then here, since I put the L first, so it's going to be 2, take away, so difference, negative 4. So there's 2 negatives there. That makes this a positive. So it's 2 plus 4, that gives you 6. Now, if you have a 0 in the numerator, no matter what the denominator is, your slope is always going to be equal to 0. Okay, when the numerator, the top number is 0. Okay, this is slope of slope is 0. Okay, now that's when the line is fully horizontal, meaning right to left. It's not diagonal in any way, right? Okay, so what about slope M and N? So here I have M and here I have N. That's this point here all the way down. Okay, so for this one, we're saying, okay, let's take the difference of the y values. Okay, so if we take n, we do 2. So that's the positive 2 from here. Minus, because that's the difference, the y value here. Okay, the y value here is negative 2. There it is there. Okay, and then you're going to go from the letter n first. The letter n is 3. And then you're going to subtract 3 from it. So what happens there is that it's 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 minus 3 is 0. Whenever the denominator is 0, okay, it means that your slope is undefined. And basically, it's not not that it's not possible, but if you just say you put it into your calculator, right? If you forget which one's 0 and which one's undefined, I don't know if you can see mine, but if I put 4 divided by 0, my calculator tells me I have an error. Okay, but if I were to write the other one, 0 divided by 6, it shows me that it's actually 0. So I did 0 divided by 6. That shows me it's 0. So that's how you can kind of also, if you have a calculator, you can test it out if you forget. Depending on where the 0 is, whether it's in the numerator, okay, or whether it's in the denominator. And so it's right here. The slope of a horizontal line, so this line is 0, horizontal line. And the slope of a vertical line is undefined. Okay, so do the questions on page 6. And then submit your work to your teacher. Okay, everyone have a good day. And of course, since this is COVID stuff, we're telling it to MC Hammer, can't touch this. Have a good day.